2, and 3. Hello, how are you, Miss Emler?
Nice to meet you.
I'm Miss Science, and I'm the school counselor. How can I help you today?
I was referred to you by friends, and I just had some concerns about some anxiety that I was experiencing in the workplace, and I just wanted to see if you could kind of like help me analyze it a little bit as far as what type of exercises that I could try to incorporate so that way it doesn't feel so overwhelming.
Of course, that's what I'm here for. And before we can discuss your anxiety or the issues that you might be experiencing, let me tell you that this is confidential. I'm not allowed to discuss your information with anyone, not even the principal.
Okay.
So it's between you and me, and feel free to tell me what's going on, what's causing you anxiety.
And that's why I sought you out, because I know it's a confidentiality, and you never want to be a disturbance in the workplace, obviously. As you know, this is my first year here at this campus, and so it really is hard changing grade levels and changing districts. I want you to know, I really admire your professionalism. That's why I came to you today. And I'm really just wanting to look on what you could kind of like guide me towards as far as like interactions with my colleagues. If you could kind of like help me with that a little bit. I feel like it is hard being new to a team.
Right.
And I know that everybody has different systems in place as far as how they function. And I just feel like this, like it's I feel very tense when I do come to work.
I hear you, and I can notice that your body language, just talking about it, makes you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Though, is your team receptive? Is it friendly? Is it more social, or is a lot of requirements that you have to fulfill?
So you talk about how, so obviously you have an informal way when you interact with people.
Right.
Informal, it's great. When it's
Okay.
informal, when it's in daily interactions, informal, it's awesome. I don't feel anything. But when you're talking about in a professional context, when you're in meetings, it does not feel like that. Like it doesn't have like that sense of ease with it.
Yeah.
Like you pick up on undertones of like competitiveness. Like you can feel like a competitiveness. And I spoke about it this morning when we had that data talk, is about pressure. When you have a smaller group of students, you feel that pressure to have them perform.
Of course,
I don't know if
yes.
you like hear that a lot from other people, but like you feel like you have to like kind of do your best, because like you have to kind of earn your way, like to
Right.
prove on why you're there. Like
Right. Is it just one specific peer that is making you feel like that? Or
no, it's a
is
tag team.
it a tag team?
Yeah, it's a tag team.
Okay. Can you give me an example of the dynamic? Let's say, for example, you're planning.
Okay,
What's the
I
dynamic?
gotcha. You ready?
Yes.
We had it this week. I'm all about I'm sorry that I'm shifting. So
That's good.
I'm all about planning ahead of time. So probably back in October, I buy these like monthly activities, like for the month, and so I printed them off and I gave them to my team lead, and I told her, I was like, hey, I planned these for November. I'd love for us to go over them to use when we get a chance. And she's my team lead, so I want to give it to her, of course.
Right.
And I gave it to her, never heard anything back. This last Tuesday, another colleague who has been here for a while, now I know that I'm new. I know that I'm new. Thankfully, I'm not new to teaching. This is my 4th year teaching,
Okay,
my
that's
6th year in education, yeah. So anyway, this Tuesday, the other colleague brought something, and they were like, oh, we're going to start this meeting going over what that other colleague brought. And I was like, oh, okay, great. But what about the stuff that I contributed before? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
I hear you. What I'm sensing is that you don't feel that they're giving you enough credit, even though you're working in advance, right?
Yeah.
You deserve that respect of them giving,
Yeah.
at least acknowledge.
Yeah,
You.
because like here, the big thing is rowing together and making sure that everybody decides as a team, right? As a team,
Right.
which should be where everybody is contributing, you know what I mean, like together. And it should never feel like an individual person is shut out, you know what I mean? And that's what it does feel like. Because like when you do contribute or you do share something and you feel like you're discredited a little bit, like not because of your experience, but because they've done things a particular way here, it is really hard.
Of course, it affects your career satisfaction.
Yeah,
So you don't
exactly.
feel like you belong there, right?
Yes, exactly. Career satisfaction is a good way. Yeah. Like
Oh,
that's an issue. So that's like one issue that I'm having in the back of my mind. And so of course you want to maintain your professionalism and not let it get to you, because like at the end of the day it's a job, and you don't want to focus on the bad. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to dwell on it. You're like, okay, I need to earn my way, obviously, like that.
Have you talked to your team leader about it?
No, I haven't. No,
Why
because
not?
you don't want to like stir the pot either. Because I don't think excuse me, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
I would approach her if I felt like it was intentional. Like,
Right.
do you?
But
if
you
I,
don't think it was
yeah,
intentional?
if I felt like it was malicious, I would not hesitate at all to ask for like to either pull her off to the side, or if I felt like it was even more intentional, ask for mediated. Because like we're professionals, we know like how to like approach those in context. You know what I mean? I don't think it's malicious, and I know it'll get easier.
Right.
So and
I want
you
you to feel like that, especially as your first year in our school. And I'm not your team leader for years. That might be a little bit biased for me. I can show some bias. But I know that she is a very compassionate person.
Yeah.
So probably if you just go to her and explain, maybe it wasn't intentional, something is going on, and you're thinking.
Yeah, this is how I perceive it.
Exactly. That's probably how you perceive it, and it's not her probably her intention at all.
Yeah, no.
So do it so you can feel a little bit more safe, and you need to feel safe and comfortable at work.
Yeah, especially because like we've talked about it, like so you have there's so many like spears that we're all like having to like keep afloat, and so you have your work context, and then you have your issues like with grad school. Like that's a whole additional job.
Oh wow! So you're going to grad school as well?
Yes, I'm going to grad school, and I just recently, so I'm in the tail end of my program, and I just recently started tutoring a student every day after school, an additional that I'm having to do.
Wow.
So yeah.
So you have a work load, really.
You're always preoccupied. You know what I mean? Like in your head, it's post-its and lists.
And what's your major? It's an education.
Yes.
Your major?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's curriculum instruction.
Curriculum. I bet it's gonna be really, really stressful as well.
Yeah, it is. But the good thing is I have a good support group, and we all meet together, and we all like help each other. So, and we're coming into the end of the semester. So August was a lot worse than right now. Like right now, at this point, everything is done. You're just tying up loose ends. So like that's fine. And then that's another reason why it's like, okay, in the interactions that I'm having with my coworkers, is it where I am like interpreting things wrong? You know what I mean? Like, cause you know, like based on how you're feeling.
Of course, you might be a little bit more sensitive.
Yes, or tired, or you know what I mean. And daylight savings just happened, so you're like, wait. Is it like that, or is it my perception of it? You know what I mean?
Right. So you might need to be mindful about it. And my first recommendation is for you to talk to your team. It doesn't have. I mean, you can keep your professionalism.
Yeah.
You can keep being professional, but talk to them.
Yeah.
Especially Marie, feel free to go to her.
Yeah.
And say, hey, this happened, and I'm a little bit hurt.
Yeah.
What's going on, or do I need to do something else? I don't want to be the stricter.
Yeah, because that's the other thing. You want to make sure that you are maintaining their procedures. You know what I mean? You don't want to overstep anyone's boundaries, especially when you're new. You just don't want to seem like.
But you don't want to feel like a stranger either.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like I'm still in that honeymoon period where I'm like, okay, am I meshing okay? And you don't want to feel like you're dead weight either. You want to make sure that you are contributing.
Of course.
Because you don't want someone to feel like they have to do everything.
Right.
That's my concern.
But I'm noticing, talking about the honeymoon process, I've noticed a different accent. Are you from Texas?
No.
Where are you from?
I grew up all over. Yeah,
I was in the military. Tell me about it.
I was raised in the military, and then I was in the military, and then I've lived in Texas, in Houston now, since 2007.
Wow.
Yeah, so for
How
a
do you
while.
like Texas?
It's good.
Do you feel home?
Yeah, I mean, I don't wear cowboy boots yet, but
you will.
Yeah, someday. I mean, I'm making my way, easing into it. My husband is from Texas.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you feel happy? Wow, that's a big changes. I mean, it looks like you know how to cope with changes and stress.
Yes.
Because your whole life has been
upheaval, and that's one of the things that I pride myself on is making sure you are adaptable, right? Don't take anything too serious. You can't, because otherwise, you know what I mean? It just builds into like this huge issue that you can't overcome. And I say that because this is my 4th year teaching. And my first 3 years, I had so much anxiety where I was like, oh, I'm held accountable. Oh, I'm not doing this right. Oh, I'm not doing that right. You have to let it go. You know what I mean? And I just now, my 4th year, feel like, oh, I need to make sure that I've made dinner tonight. Oh, I can take the time to clean my house. That's fine. You know what I mean? Like, you're learning better to balance and not have that guilt. Like, your kids are fine. Nobody is criticizing. But in my head, I felt like it was like that. You know what I mean? And even now, I still struggle with it. It's because I'm a workaholic. And so I'm trying to cope with it and to do better.
And I'm sensing like you're a perfectionist.
Yes.
you know, nothing's perfect.
Yeah.
It's okay to let go sometimes.
Yes,
And
yes.
recognize, I'm tired. I'm just going to go grab a cup of coffee and breathe or
Yeah.
read a good book.
I have control issues. Like I'm not able to nap. Like, you know how some people can take naps?
Right.
I always feel like if I do have free time, there's something else I need to work on. And you know what I'm talking about, because like grad school, again, grad school,
I know,
like,
grad school
you
is
just
difficult.
learn to prioritize. You just learn to prioritize, and you feel like you always should be efficient, like with your time.
And it's the thing where we're studying and going to school, it never ends.
Yeah.
It never ends. If you finish this title, you will get to another one.
Yeah.
And probably after your master, you will want to pursue the doctorate.
Yeah,
I want to grab
I
something
do,
else,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my name is Christy, and I want to keep pursuing that.
Right. So honestly, in your case, what I would recommend is just try to take it easy.
Okay.
One day at a time.
Yeah, and that's what I tell myself. Like on my drive-in, it's like, okay, you can stop and like watering my lawn. Okay, sure. Let's stop and take care of the plants real quick.
Exactly. Something that makes you relax.
Yeah. So I've been taking up gardening as like
Did you enjoy it?
I do. Yeah, it makes me feel nice. And then I told you I do a lot of our house. We have a historic house, and so I do a lot of restorations on it. So it was built in the 1930s, and so that's kind of like a hobby of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Cooking is a hobby of mine. So it is getting easier.
Right.
But I really am still coping with being in a new district, being in a new school, and then just really like thinking long term. Okay, so what is my plan?
Where are you going?
Yeah, like what do I foresee myself? You know what I mean? And I don't even have to get deep like that, but if I do get free time, I find myself
doing it.
Yes, where I'm like, okay,
because you want to control everything.
Yes.
Right?
What is your long-term plan?
And that's okay. I think everybody have those thoughts once in a while.
Yeah.
As long as that they're not affecting you or making you feel anxiety about it.
Yeah.
Or anxious about it, you can feel free to think about it.
Yeah. And then I told you about how so I'm going to be 32 in February. And I've been married for 10 years, and I feel, not that my husband's ever said anything, but like I do feel myself like kind of analyzing where I'm like, okay, Christy, at this point you should have kids, like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I haven't accomplished that yet. Not accomplished, but I mean I don't feel that drive yet for that, because like I'm I don't understand how you would do all this on top of that, and so I don't feel that urge yet. And my husband doesn't say anything. He's 34, and he doesn't say anything. It's more like from external, like family members and stuff, where they're just questioning. And so I'm just like finding myself wondering, like, okay, like I was thinking about it the other day, like we're in 2016. Like when I first got married, I was thinking I would have kids already at this point. And even now, I feel like I'm young. Like I don't need to have kids right now at this point. So I'm also struggling with that.
So what I'm hearing is that you're not ready.
Yeah.
I don't like labels. I don't like that you should do this
And
by
do you
this
feel that way,
age.
right?
Yes,
Like, is it just me?
Usually society puts those labels.
Yeah.
You're 30, you're supposed to have family already, and you're supposed to do this and supposed to do that. If it doesn't feel right for you right now, and your husband is there asking, just let it go.
Yeah, and that's what
Time will come when you're ready.
But then in my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, because you're more at risk for, like the older you are, the more you are for an at-risk pregnancy, or you're seeing more and more studies with autism, like reflecting higher your chances of like Down syndrome. I try not to like focus on the statistics, but in the back of my head, they exist. They're there.
So if it's something that you would like to do, just sit down with your husband and probably create a timeline and say, hey, we're right here, 2016. When do you think?
Oh, I told him. As of this morning, 2020, when Trump is out of office.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's
Sounds
what I'm
like a
thinking.
plan. So stop thinking about it. You will be great. You're a healthy woman.
That's what I'm hoping.
It's no reason for something bad to happen.
I feel bad. I'm unloading everything. Like we got way deep with this. Like, but it's like, but these are things that we struggle with.
Of course. And basically, do you exercise regularly or walk?
No, I don't, and I need to. And I struggle with that too, where I'm like, okay, I know. And I've gained weight since I started teaching. It's like you're surrounded by cupcakes. Let's talk about it. You are constantly
stress doesn't help.
Yeah, and it's okay. Stress, candy. Okay, we're good. Let's do this. Or for me, it's caffeine. I am like caffeine. Like, mine's caffeine. And so And I know you pick, and I told you I was in the military, so like I do comparisons now, and like it's funny because like people think the military is super stressful, but when I was in, it did not feel stressful. Maybe it was because I was young and resilient, right? But it didn't feel stressful because you know what? You didn't have to do a lot of thinking. You were always told what to do, where to be,
Right.
and
You were just following directions.
Yeah, you were just reacting. Whereas this now, you make so many decisions throughout the day, right? With teaching,
And you're
like,
responsible for little ones.
for little ones, yeah, and you're active and you're on and you're animated, and there's just so much more that we're taking on with it, and so.
Right. What I personally do, I have a dog. I go for a walk every night after dinner, and it really helps me. Several studies shows that when you walk at night, it helps you relax, it helps you breathe, control your breathing, and contributes greatly controlling anxiety. So it might be something that you can try probably with your husband, or if you have a pet, you can go walk around the block.
Yeah.
Or do something.
That's what I want to. I know. I keep thinking about how so at this point I only have 2 semesters left in my program. I have spring and then I have summer, and I really think about it, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just so excited about almost being done, and then I'm just analyzing like where I want to go from there, and you know what I mean? Because like I like find myself adding up how much time that I spend studying. I have to study really hard. I do. Things do not come naturally to me. And so I just think about that, like what do I want to do when I'm done, like, so.
But you can take a break.
Yeah.
In your study period,
I know,
you can
funny?
just set up a timer and go for a walk 10 minutes. It doesn't have to be something huge. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, do a walk and come back and you will be more relaxed.
Yeah.
Well, our time is done for today, Christy. Anytime you feel like coming back, come talk to me. Tell me if it's some of the skills